Calgary's issued a critical water supply alert after the largest water main break in recent memory caused city water levels to drop dangerously low. As Heather Yerkes-West explains, experts say this should serve as a wake-up call for communities across the country.
The alarm went off just after 6:30, waking up many Calgarians with an ask to skip the morning shower, the city facing a critical water supply alert.
I know this is an inconvenience, but I can't overstate the importance of this request. We have a need to urgently ensure that our water supply does not get dangerously low.
This is why a massive water main break Wednesday night, flooding parts of the Trans-Canada Highway. By morning, the full extent of the break's impact became clear.
The break is on one of our critical pipes. It's called a feeder main, and it enables us to move water across the city.
The city says its priority is making sure there is enough water in the event of an emergency. A citywide fire ban is in effect as well.
We've known for a while that our infrastructure investments in the water sector have not kept pace with needs.
Those who study Canada's water systems say the emergency in Calgary should alert other municipalities of potential danger ahead as infrastructure continues to age.
The emergency in Calgary should alert other municipalities of potential danger ahead.
The city is calling this a complicated repair and asking residents to be patient, warning water restrictions could be in place for some time.
Thank you to the Calgary Police Service for their assistance with road closures and traffic management. I know that Calgarians band together when we have a situation as serious as this one. And in this case, our collective focus on conservation of water will be the key to ensuring that everyone's got enough supply for drinking water, for cooking needs, as well as other basic needs.
Our collective focus on conservation of water.
Calgary, it's Saturday, the 8th of June, and we have some good news for you. The crews in Bowness have managed to figure out what's wrong with the pipe. They are in there actively doing repairs. Best estimate is it's going to take at least another 5 to 7 days to get the repair work done and also to flush the pipe for public health and public safety. In that time, I really appreciate everything you have done to bring down your water consumption. Keep at it. Yesterday, you did such a great job that the level of water we produced met the need that was out there. So if you can keep doing your best to have shorter showers, only do laundry when you have to, watching how many times you have to flush the toilet, all of those things matter. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. We can do this together.
We can do this together.
Experts say this is the most dramatic and traumatic break of the feeder main they have ever seen. This pipe is only at a halfway point in its life cycle. From all accounts, this should not have happened, but it did.
Emergency officials in Calgary making an urgent plea to residents to reduce their water usage tonight. They say it could take up to 5 weeks now to repair the city's largest water distribution pipe. This is because they have found another 5 sites that need repairs on that pipe while water is turned off.
Important structural stability for the pipe to help it manage high water pressures. As the pipe ages, it's normal for some of the wires to break without compromising the integrity of the pipe. However, it becomes problematic as the number of breaks increases. So far, we have inspected 4.3 kilometers of pipe to see if there are any other issues. We have now received the data that has helped us to get a clear picture of what we're dealing with. We have discovered 5 hotspots where significant wire breakage has occurred and require critical and urgent repair.
What is this going to mean for the residents of Calgary during this time period?
This is not news that any of us wanted to hear, but I have to say that it's better that we figured this out now with the robots that went into the pipe, being able to identify that there are a few more hot spots that we need to take care of. At least we can do this while there's no water in the pipe and we were doing repair work anyway. I know it's hard to take and it's hard to hear that we have to do this for a few more weeks.
Yesterday, we saw significant reduction in water use up until the afternoon. Unfortunately, as the evening went on, water use increased. This happened around the time that people came home from work. This took us back to a situation where we were using more water than we can produce. This trend cannot continue for us. If we do not reduce our water use, we are at risk of running out.
What I can tell you is that most cities have enough storage. We have enough storage in our system, those reservoirs that I talked about, for 1.5 to 2 days. Now we're constantly filling those up. So again, that balance between how much we're able to produce and how much Calgarians are using is really the answer to that.
We need your help to save water for the next few days while the crews continue to work on the problem.
At 8 a.m. this morning, I signed the paperwork to declare a local state of emergency for the city of Calgary. I can confirm that there are 5 further locations that require repair while we have the water turned off and the pipe is exposed. While this will delay the length of time for repair and restoration of water service, and I know that means asking all of us to keep our water use lower than usual, it also means that we have identified potential issues that could have led to another unexpected break.
Experts say this is the most dramatic and traumatic break of the feeder main they have ever seen. From all accounts, this should not have happened, but it did. We are still working to understand the why. We do not want to be back in the same situation where we are today. Our only choice is to stay the course with our current water restrictions for 3 to 5 weeks longer and do these critical repairs. We will be talking to some categories of business to address their water use. We cannot expect residents alone to be in this situation, and our outreach teams have been in touch with more than 7,000 customers to reduce their water use. Many have and continue to step up in their operations, but if education doesn't work, we will be more directly addressing this in the days to come.
It requires millions of people making sacrifices every day.
Don't need to flush the toilet every time you use it. Don't wash dishes until the dishwasher is absolutely crammed full. And don't think that hand washing is going to conserve any water. It's actually more water efficient to use your dishwasher if you have one. Be selective in the clothing that you need to wash. Wash your essentials only. And if you need to change your bedding, use the spare sheets, use the guest sheets. Don't do that load if you don't need to. And if you're not loving the dwindling look of your hair, grab some dry shampoo at the drugstore, throw it up in a ponytail, and you can skip a shave and rock a beard. We're in water conservation mode, everyone. No one is judging how you look, no one is judging how clean your floors are, and no one is judging how shiny your car or your truck look right now.
As I've said before, there is no one perfect approach to COVID-19, but there are many ways to step up to the challenge and protect our communities. I know this next while will be challenging, but as we have seen with recent numbers, and will see with today's, it is critical that we all continue to do our part and look at changes that we can make to our daily lives to reduce
our water use.
One way we can do this, as I have stressed many times, is to stay home when sick.
Oki, Daranastada, Ambawastich, Tanse, and good afternoon, everyone. Now, I wish I was starting with some good news for you as we head into the Canada Day long weekend, but unfortunately, I'm not. Yesterday's 500 million liters of water use was the most we've seen since the start of this water crisis. And I know some might try to discount that by saying, hey, isn't some of that water going to fill that giant pipe? Well, yes, a very small amount was used to do the filling. We, as residents and businesses, use the rest of it. So we are well above the 480 million liters. That is our threshold, and we are way above the 450 million liters that we want to be at, which indicates a 25% reduction.
Looking back on the numbers, we really haven't been doing that great this week. And when we ask you to conserve water during this crisis by reducing your consumption by a quarter, we're asking you to step up your water stewardship, and we're asking you to be a good Canadian.
That's also, of course, true with COVID, right? We are all only as healthy as our neighbor is on our street, in our city, in our region, in our nation, and globally. And did we solve that? Like, did we actually manage to vaccinate everyone in the world? No. So highlighting water as a global commons and what it means to work together and see it both out of that kind of global commons perspective, but also the self-interest perspective, because it does have that parallel. It's not only important, but it's also important because we haven't managed to solve those problems which had similar attributes. And water is something that people understand. You know, climate change is a bit abstract. Some people understand it really well. Some understand it a bit. Some just don't understand it. Water, every kid knows how important it is to have water. When you're playing football and you're thirsty, you need water. So there's also something about really getting citizen engagement around this and really, in some ways, experimenting with this notion of the common good. Can we actually deliver this time in ways that we have failed miserably other times? And hopefully we won't keep failing on the other things, but anyway.
We have had many, many businesses tell us that they didn't realize a lot about their water consumption until they were made to think about saving water over the last 3 weeks. So they're already incorporating new ways to limit their water usage once things here are restored to normal. They know they can be better water stewards, not just now, but well into the future as well.
Not just now, but well into the future as well.
I'm counting on all of us to use these examples and to lead by example, to keep saving water while we get through the filling, flushing, testing, and stabilizing stages of returning us to regular water usage. I know you can do this. We can do this together. Be a good Canadian.
Be a good Canadian.
Right? But under communitarianism, the individual's rights are balanced with the rights of the community. Now, there are no rights of the community, and the community itself is not delineated. You know, what is the community? If you dissent, I guarantee you, you are not the community. The community is whatever those who are in control define it as long as it is in support of those plans. So I'm going to give you an example. It's all for the common good. This is what you'll hear. It's all for the common good. So here's a way to think about this. A clear glass of water. A glass of water. This is your individual rights. Okay? Your individual rights. Clear glass of water. Put it down here. Now we're going to take a glass of milk. This is a communitarian state. Communitarian rights. Nazi Germany. Soviet Russia. Maoist China. This is the all for the common good. Okay? We're going to put that down. Now we're going to balance those rights. We're going to take a clear glass pitcher. We're going to take your individual rights and the rights of the community. We're going to balance them. We're going to pour them together. What do you have? You've got milk. You have subsumed your individual rights into the rights of the community. Undelineated, can change at any time. So, United Nations Agenda 21 is dependent on the Hegelian dialectic, and that says that a crisis is posed and a solution, a crisis comes up, and here's the solution, okay? The balance between these becomes the new normal. Now that's something that you may never have agreed to, that new normal, if it were not for that crisis, okay? This is a new normal that is pressured. The acceptance of it is pressured because you have this crisis.
The team was still determining what an easing of restrictions could look like because they had to track our water demand against our supply. So they were preparing to tell you that either restrictions would have to remain or they could be eased, but it was going to be based on information that wasn't coming until this morning. Fortunately, I'm able to give you good news that we have reached another important milestone in restoring our water system. Early this morning, we were able to confirm that we used 492 million liters of water yesterday, which is 18% less water than we would typically use at this time of year. This is part of the reason that we are confident that enough water supply exists to move from stage 4 restrictions down to stage 3 restrictions.
Water every kid knows how important it is to have water. When you're playing football and you're thirsty, you need water. So there's also something about really getting citizen engagement around this and really, in some ways, experimenting with this notion of the common good. Can we actually deliver this time in ways that we have failed miserably other times?
Meetings on foreign policy. You know, for years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water.
The edge of oblivion. I want every man, woman, and child to understand how close we are to chaos. I want everyone to remember why they need us.
In the former United States, civil war continues to devastate the Midwest.
Scientists attribute this latest water shortage to the lack of rainfall the last 2 years. Ministry officials expect water coupon prices to rise. Police have arrested 9 suspects. Can you believe the shit? Reporting avian flu bites in summer. Water coupon prices to rise.
The girl is washing dishes with sand, because in the future, water is extremely scarce. The poor can only rely on alcohol to quench their thirst, and drinking a sip of clean water requires a lot of money.
The Omni processor turns sewer sludge, which is kind of nasty, into clean drinking water, electricity, and ash that is pathogen-free. It will grow to every corner of the earth that needs it because it makes money every day.
Says that a crisis is posed and a solution. A crisis comes up. Woo. And here's the solution, okay? The balance between these becomes the new normal.
As of this afternoon, things are going well.
So I am very pleased to announce
that we had not detected any additional wire snaps,
that the numbers continue to decline rapidly
as of 2 a.m. this morning. I'm happy to say that as of this afternoon, this pattern is holding and no new wire snaps have been detected through the day. We will continue to monitor
trends with a focus on hospitalizations.
And we'll make a final decision on whether to move to stage 2 outdoor water restrictions.
If and only
if we're able to move to stage 2,
proceed to phase 2.
It will mean that you'll be able to water using a hose and hot nozzle and with a sprinkler for up to 1 hour a week on a set schedule. We will then watch how our system performs through the weekend.
If we continue to see a downward trend in hospitalizations,
if everything remains stable and we're confident that we have met the demand,
we will then
move to stage 1 outdoor water restrictions as early as Monday. This would allow up to 2 hours a week of watering using sprinklers, again on a set schedule. I need to caution that there's still a risk that things could change. This is why we continue to proceed cautiously.
We needed to do this carefully and prudently. We didn't want to rush into it. We needed to make sure to take this one step at a time.
If we detect significant new snaps or encounter other unforeseen issues,
push us back into an uptick in viral transmission or hospitalization.
This could still delay our progress. We are monitoring around the clock, and crews and equipment are on standby to quickly respond if issues arise.